Today, we have none other than old friend, big game James Coleman, local media personality. He's not inside, but he is in the building out in Tallahassee with the Florida State Seminoles, his alma mater, where, of course, he played for the legendary Bobby Bowden. He's going to join us to break down the Jaguars' run game so far under Liam Cohen through 3 weeks of the NFL season, as well as any other takeaways from the Jaguars as they get ready for a Week 4 showdown with San Francisco. Speaking of the Niner gang, Joe, the Butcher Boy Shasky, is going to join us, of course, of 95.7, the game's morning show, the morning roast. Folks, all I got to say is I was writing the bio for this episode. I don't think I've ever had this many guests on any radio or podcast program with this many nicknames. Let's get after it. Let's have some fun on a Thursday. Welcome into a Thursday edition of Club 904. I am your host, Mia O'Brien. We are live on X here at 1:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday, September 25th, and streaming syndicated live on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 channel. Whether you're interacting with us on Twitch, I almost said Instagram. Maybe we should try that sometime. StreamYard lets you do that now. Twitch, Twitter, the .2 channel, of course, on YouTube. Please not only leave a comment, leave a question, leave your thoughts on the Jaguars 2025 season so far, but also maybe you want to like and subscribe to our friends at the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 channel and all the great stuff that Brent, Austin, and everybody involved has cooking. You can also, of course, subscribe right now to the Mo Bryan NFL Notebook. That is where all of my midweek notebooks, my weekend reports, the scoops, and oh so much more, plus live Q&A, additional podcasts. It's all available there. I've wasted too much of your time. We know why you're here. You are here to hear from my good friend, the one and only. Did you like the intro, Big Game James Coleman? Did you appreciate? Is that everywhere I can find you these days, or where else can the people find you?
Basically on YouTube, Den Media Group, with Big Games BS, where we give away money and tickets, as well as have a great time. And I'm just a dad and an amateur philanthropist trying to figure things out on the run. So cool stuff, man. I appreciate you. We used to do this a long time ago at a place where I won't give too much. I won't say, but actually two places. But one I'm still with. The other one, yeah. But good stuff though, man. I'm so happy that my pumpkin spice princess is doing very, very. This is our time. This is our year though. This is our time of year.
I actually have one this morning. Shout out to Foxtails Coffee. I was out in the PV area getting the hair did. So I did have a nice little Foxtails pumpkin spice latte in your honor. I am also happy to report for those of you who get the show, my apologies if you don't. I am happy to report that all of the pumpkin spice desserts are out at your local Publix right now, James. So if you want the infamous pumpkin spice log, I saw it. I was going to snap a picture for you and Denny Thompson. I promise I will this weekend when I'm there because the pumpkin spice craze is real. It is back. And so is the Jacksonville Jaguars offense. Is that back too? Would you go as far as to say that the Jaguars are back on the offensive side of the ball, James?
Close. Seasonal, definitely. And sometimes they run out. Sometimes they run out. Just like the pumpkin stuff. But they're doing very good. You can definitely see that Liam Cohen has definitely had an effect. And you can see that Trevor is trying to be in control of the offense and doing different things. Fortunately and unfortunately, the offense goes as far as Trevor's arm and the faith that people have in Trevor's arm. So they're doing a great job. It's much more exciting than it has been in past years outside of Sunday's game. But at the end of the day, I'll take an ugly, boring offensive performance if it equates to a win. Because if wins were easy, everybody would have them. Everybody would be undefeated.
Well, this is part of what works great about the Jaguars' current offensive structure and having you, the fullback for Florida State, on the program. the idea of establishing the run is something that you
Mhm.
screamed for, I screamed for 3 years under the Doug Peterson and Press Taylor operation. It sure as hell feels like they are trying to establish it. What did you see? And I know Liam Cohen kind of referenced it this week, but what did you see the adjustments at halftime for the Jaguars, even when they were struggling to run the ball in the first half for perhaps the first time this year against the Houston Texans? What adjustments that they made that you believe can be sustainable, even if other teams now have that on tape?
The adjustment is not quitting. A lot of times when you're not getting the 4 or 5 yards per carry, you're getting sometimes when you get stalemated, you want to leave, you want to abandon it, and you want to get pass happy. But one of the things about running is you need reps. You need to be able to get in a groove, no different than throwing the ball. When a running back has 1 carry in the first quarter, and then doesn't see the ball again until midway through the second, his legs are cold. There are things that he's not being able to do. You don't get a chance to kind of equate for how the defense is doing, how fast they're moving. It's also a different mentality with your offensive line. It's easier to establish the run and allow it to help the pass than it is to try to let the pass set up the run, because run is much more aggressive. You're literally trying to impose your will onto another man. And that's what makes this sport one of the greatest sports ever invented, is that you get paid to be violent. And it's pass setting naturally is nowhere near as violent as run blocking. So if I set the tone, which is what you can do with the running game, it allows you to be able to open things up down the road. Also, one of the things that I stress so importantly, because I believe football has been made complicated by a bunch of people who've never played it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not as scientific as they try to make it. Time of possession and a good defense will win you games from I-9 to Pop Warner to middle school, high school, NFL, college. Doesn't matter which level you play. Time of possession, if you hold the ball more and you have a good running game and your defense is stopping them, you're going to win a lot of games. And running the ball is what helps with top, which is time of possession.
Big Game James hanging out for the very first time in Club 904. You know you want to hang out. You want to join the conversation. Leave a comment, leave a question for Big Game James as we look into the Jaguars' offensive scheme, play calling, but especially paying attention to that run game through 3 weeks of the NFL season. Brian says, good afternoon, James. Lucky to have a Publix near me up in North Carolina. So hopefully
Nice.
Brian's getting some pumpkin spice apparel, pumpkin spice paraphernalia. I think we can call it that, because Big Game and I definitely partake this time of year. Let's talk about specific personnel when it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2025. Those 3 running backs. I'm going to include LaQuint Allen in the conversation because I do think it bears merit. I know I was clamoring for more Bashal Tutin on Sunday. I know I was not the only one. He has had a non-contact penny on in practice each of the last 2 weeks of practice. Travis Etienne is seeing the field much better, in my estimation, and I'm sure yours as well, than he did the last 2, even 3 seasons. But for you, long-term play here, how do you see Liam Cohen and company balancing those running backs in the backfield?
Well, I think when they really need a tough yard, and this is why they were able to get the value for Tank Bigsby that they were able to get, because Tootin has kind of fulfilled that role. Tough runner, in between the tackles, catches well. You don't lose much when you take Travis Etienne out. Travis Etienne is, again, the guy that we want to get the ball to in space. A lot of fans don't hear it on the NFL level, but we call him more of a slot back. So that means he's a running back that can play slot receiver. He could be your number 4 wide receiver, Travis Etienne, because he can catch. He's running behind his pads more. He's seeing the field better. But Tootin is the guy that when we keep putting him in, he falls forward. And LaQuint Allen is also, again, another type of a third down back, a guy that you could put in to be able to pass block, catch the ball, do a lot of things that you want to do well. Cohen also wants to be able to throw the ball to the running back side of the backfield. Very easy to blame one person for drops. Drops were had all across the board. But there was a pass that was dropped by Travis Etienne that should have been an easy 10, 15-yard pickup, if not break with the speed that he has. He is playing as fast as he would play kind of when he was at Clemson, which has left me frustrating being a former Nole, seeing him terrorize my alma mater for 4 years and then come to the team that I am privileged to cover and not give me that same thing is a slap. I've taken personal offense to that. Like, he's trying to continue to let me live in hell. So I'm glad he's doing doing better now. I think he's one of the top 5 rushers in the NFL. Hopefully, we can continue that pace on this Sunday and then get him back on track with the San Francisco 49ers.
James, I've asked this question of Matt Hamilton of FanDuel Sports Network, the Up and Adams show. I asked it of JP Acosta of CBS Sports on Tuesday. Why do we see Travis Etienne in 2025 looking like the Travis Etienne of old when he was at Clemson terrorizing your Knowles? Why does it work now?
Well, I'll give it this. One is learning how to be a pro. He had an injury that affects explosiveness. Former Nolan, my god brother Brandon Jenkins, had that injury, that Liz Frank injury on his foot, and he literally lost his explosive edge, and you lose a year for that. So he lost his rookie year, came back, was okay, and then really just trying to find the confidence. And if the sport is about confidence and being able to believe that you're able to do these different things. Walking on that field, knowing you're going to have the blocking, knowing that you're capable. I think his injuries and also being a little shaky with the line. And I'll say our line play is exponentially better than it has been in the past years. Remember,
we're going to get to that, by the way. Yeah, we're gonna tap into the line. Don't worry, we're gonna talk about the line. We'll go 1 through 5, but continue.
Yeah, I believe the line play is better across the boards. It's cool because right now, if they continue down the trajectory, Jaguar fans have an ability to be able to love on the guys and fans can love on the guys that nobody really truly knew about, except for those here in Jacksonville, and they're performing. They're performing at a pretty high level. 18 seconds away from being 3-0. That is no matter what you feel about Trevor, the Jags, or anything. They're a couple bad play calls or things like from being undefeated. But you are what your record states, and 2-1 is a lot better than what they've been. Because since I've been in media, and really since I've lived in Jacksonville, the Jaguars have sucked more often than they've been good. But I tell people 17. And then what was it? 22 were some of the most exciting years that I've had in sports. And then there's been a national championship won by my alma mater. There's a lot of other things that have been done during that time, but none of this has compared to 2017 going to the third round of the playoffs and being a Miles Jack wasn't down play away from the Super Bowl, as well as that run in 22, which was really exciting toward the end.
So, James, when you say the players that aren't getting the love, are you just referring to the offensive line, or are there other players who you believe nationally maybe not getting the love and respect they deserve outside of Duval who are now getting that?
Definitely the offensive line.
Okay. I don't know if you were hinting at like Brenton Strange or somebody like that.
No, I was going to go to Brenton Strange when we got what's my guy's name? When we got rid of Evan Ingram, everybody was like, "Oh my God, what's going to do?" Brenton Strange stepped into that role and has done phenomenal. He blocks very well. He is probably Trevor's most reliable wide receiver at this juncture. I didn't even know who the hell Love was, and that was, I think, the first touchdown of the Jaguar season went to him. You've got Parker Washington's playing tough very well. De'Ami Brown, people knew about him from Washington, but he wasn't even, I believe, the number 1 or the number 2 target in Washington. He came on late in the playoffs. And even going to that defensive side of the ball, the way that guys like Jordan Lewis are playing, people, you would know him if you watch football, you know some of these guys. But but we don't have jersey guys yet. And that means like when you go to the store, I immediately recognize that jersey. That's the jersey that my son in Wyoming, who's a Jaguars fan, would ask for. That's the casual fan. Right now, they all know Travis Hunter. But Travis Hunter isn't even one of the better players right now. They just know him because of the hype and what he did in college. There are guys on this team right now who are making plays that by the end of the season you should know. Foye, again, is another defensive player that probably should be an all-pro that a lot of people, if you watch ball, you know. But if you don't, you're like, oh, okay, I don't know who this 23 guy, this could be his year.
Right. Okay. So again, whether it's offense, defense, guys that are unsung heroes, unless you are watching the NFL closely at the level that many, big time NFL fans and of course NFL media do. Offensive line, because I know this has been a sticking point for you the last few years. Grade them for me, 1 through 5. What have you seen from the left to the right, the Jaguars offensive line through 3 games?
Well, they're about 3.5. And are they the best offensive line unit in the NFL? No. Are they considered one of the worst? By no means. Trevor has had time to be able to throw the ball. They've got one of the top 5 rushing attacks in the NFL and haven't given up as many sacks. I believe, and I would argue the sacks that have been given up weren't on the offensive line. I believe it was on no decision is a decision. And I believe the quarterback being indecisive is what got him sacked more than what the offensive line did. And I know it's not fair. No, you can never say anything bad about Trevor. If you say anything bad about Trevor, that means you hate his guts. But I'm sorry, nobody's above reproach. And if you're the highest paid employee, I'm probably going to be more critical of you than I am going to be of others. But when I look at Walker Little and what Anton Harrison has done, could we get more out of Walker Little? Maybe, but he's doing well enough. Harrison is doing well enough. The center position has been upgraded tremendously. And then the guards, they're good. In the NFL, you don't have to be elite. You have to be above average. Above average gets you to the playoffs. Actually, the league is set for you to be average. And the slightly above average teams are the ones who make the playoffs every year. So I like them. I'm glad we got rid of one guy in particular who I've told everybody as many times as I can. The toughest thing that I've ever seen Cam Robinson do was stand up to you when you asked him about Walker Little. And now we see you kind of predicted the future. Walker Little is here. Cam Robinson is on the bench. And, making money. Good for him. But he just wasn't any good here.
Yeah, I mean, making $10 million to sit on the bench and be healthy? I mean, hey, that's not too shabby. It's a good gig if you can get it. Yep. Speaking of 16, let's get a couple of questions in the club before we get you on out of here, James. A couple about 16, Trevor Lawrence in particular. This one is from our friend Brian, who also on Twitter goes by Ether Dark. I don't know if you've ever interacted with Ether Dark on X, Twitter, whatever we call it these days, James. Trevor is ranked 8th most accurate passer and has the 11th highest EPA without the drops, which they have the most in the league. Those are good signs about him. Other than sticking them, I'm assuming hitting them in the chest, hitting them in the numbers, as Leon Cohen emphatically said in the Cincinnati game, what else can Trevor Lawrence do to try to get on the same page with those receivers?
So I'm going to tell you like this. Christian Kirk never had problems with drops until he came here. He didn't drop the ball at all. When there's a common denominator, when there's one wide receiver, that's that wide receiver's problem. But when it's consistent across the board, then there is are you throwing a catchable ball? And this is not coming from a guy who's looking at stats. I've caught passes before from inaccurate quarterbacks or quarterbacks that throw the ball 100 miles per hour. It is your job to catch the ball. You get paid millions of dollars to do that, but he gets paid millions and millions of dollars to put the ball into place. Now, when I looked at a lot of the drops, you have guys running routes, and they're going full speed. 23 typically the skill position, you want your guys going between 18 to 25 miles per hour. 25 miles per hour is the gap that a human can go. A lot of times you see guys going 23. So if I'm running across and at full speed and you throw the ball low and behind me, I have to stop as I'm going full speed to try to concentrate to catch a ball behind me where there's a person that's trailing me. And as a guy who's been hit before, I promise you that shit don't tickle. It hurts a little bit, okay? So if I got to go contort my body running full speed and potentially and look at another dude running full speed at me at the same speed, I might drop it every now and then. But if he hits me on my chest or he hits me in stride, then I'm good. That's a little bit different. But when I look at Parker Washington's drop, when Parker Washington's drop came after Trevor didn't put him on, and he did get hit with an infirmary ball. So now he's thinking. Football is not made for thinkers. You got to do. So what happens is they don't have faith that Trevor's going to throw them, that Trevor's going to protect them with the throw. So they're thinking and trying to figure out how to protect themselves, because if I don't play, I don't get paid as much. And I don't have the job security that the guy who's getting paid $50 million something when they restructure this contract have. So if I'm Parker Washington, I have to make this roster. If I don't make that catch, I am a bad hit away from never playing this game again. Right. So I haven't had my big contract. Same thing with BTJ. Also young. They have to have faith in each other. And then that's when it comes to. And then one thing I will say that Trevor does a great job of is encouraging them. We're going to come back to you, BTJ, even though you dropped this pass, and it set them up for the go-ahead touchdown. But there are some things where BTJ's the middle of the field drops aren't on him. The catch that he should have made, that was an incredible ball where Trevor put it up where it was an us or nobody ball. He leaps over the defender, and all you have to do is cradle that bad boy in. That is unacceptable. I don't care what any other former guy says. Heck, it's some legends that are going there yelling at players about their behavior, that they don't have a leg to stand on talking about anybody's behavior from when they were a Jaguar. Legend, phenomenal person, wild boy. Heard the stories, seen the stories, hung out with some of them before. It's easier when we get old to forget what it's like to be a young person that's getting lit up. And I know I couldn't do it, because if somebody hit me like that, we fighting in the parking lot like afterwards. But I think Trevor's going to be fine. He just has to continue to learn his balance. But it is showing he's making better decisions.
Is it a matter? Does he have to put more touch, take less off of it? Like, is he throwing too much of a fastball? Is it?
I think it's a combination of a lot of different things. Also, Trevor, man, this is okay. Trevor is a tall guy.
Yes. Oh, so here we go. 6'6". Yes.
Yeah. What happens is release points on the ball. So shorter guys, the ball rises, right, when they're coming. So it's easier to catch that. You could track it. Taller guys, when that ball, it feels like it's kind of coming down.
Right.
So it's a little bit, because they can't throw. He can't throw it with his arms extended. He's throwing that 7 foot. Right. They can't do that. So he has to throw it in a manner that's a little bit different. So trying to track that is maybe a little bit different as well. But some of it he has to also understand. Can't cuss on your show, I can cuss on mine. MF ball. The interception that he threw he was not playing MF ball. There was nobody there. The only person who could have made that completion was the Texans defender. So you got 3-1. Anytime there's 3 defenders to one of 3 different colors than your jersey, that's not a great decision. Let's not throw there unless I have Calvin Johnson, unless I have Randy Moss. I have an anomaly. We don't have an anomaly. What we want to do is we want to throw 1-to-1 with space. So even when we go back to not this game, we go back to the first home game. In the end zone, you've got guys one-on-one trailing. Don't throw behind them. Throw to the gap so that they can run into it. Those are where he'll get some of those things, and they'll get the cohesion. But I'll say this: the best thing about the Jaguars is it's to win games constantly. You do not have to have a top 5 quarterback. You do not have to have a top 5 a running back. What you have to have is the best quarterback on that day. CJ was not better than Trevor on that day, and that's because the Jags defense took care of Trevor. They handled that for us. Their running backs were not, even though I liked them, were not better than our running backs on that day, because our defense took care of that. All you have to do is be better than your opponent on that day, and that's how you win games. It is the people who have played it at a high level, that have coached it at a high level, think about it that simply. And I hang out with a lot of those guys, even though it wasn't me. I had some coffee and beignets in New Orleans, but I was a pretty good college player.
Hey, those beignets sound pretty good, though.
And especially when they're fresh and hot, man. It's really that's why I'm not in New Orleans.
Yeah, that's why you're here. Beignets. You're having pumpkin spice lattes with me in Duval. Too many beignets. We'd be remiss if we didn't note this one. First and foremost, our friend DJ Dell, is in the club. He is so happy that you are here. He says that we should have played Smokey Robinson's Gangbangin' to introduce you. He also wants to note that Evan Ingram, you could argue, improved his catching when he came here, but he agrees Trevor needs to improve the accuracy. He's had a couple of overthrows on some deep passes this season as well. And wild boy hanging out at the White House. Yeah.
Hey man, listen, it's a lot of wild boy, but I'm not. I have no problems with Jimmy Smith. My thing is, like, I've seen Jimmy in the critiques, and Jimmy is a legend, one of the best wide receivers. Probably needs to have the campaign and put him into the Hall of Fame. But like, hey, you were wild. He was a wild boy. It's some things that we all make mistakes, and these are young guys. But Trevor is not somebody that you want to get rid of. Again, the proper system will make it better. And we look at what they're doing in Indianapolis with Daniel Jones, putting him in a system where it's catered to him, where he's learning, and they're building around him, has made him a better player and kind of maybe resurged his career. I think Liam Cohen's going to continue to do that with Trevor. But I think what they have to do is Philly's proven it. Everybody's proven it. He's not Pat Mahomes. And that's not a knock. Game manager is not a bad thing. In fact, game manager is what you want. We want a 1980s point guard playing basketball. What does that mean, James? 1980s point guard job was to distribute the ball to the scorers. And when we needed them to knock down a 3, they knock down the three. We don't need him to be the new age point guard. We need him to distribute the ball to the playmakers so that they can score. And that's a game manager. So once he realizes that, again, good D and a lot of top is going to make you successful in life. That will always be my message to preach about football.
When I joined 95.7 The Game in San Francisco this morning, they asked me to rank these three quarterbacks. So let's finish with this big game, James. Mac Jones, Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, rank them in the order in which you think Kyle Shanahan, the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, would rank them.
Oh, he would go Brock, Trevor, Mac.
That's how I had it for them. And I said, because at this juncture, because I said to them, I think that Kyle might have had a different purview of Trevor coming out of Clemson than the rest of the national media and the national consensus, who thought that he was Pat Mahomes and that he was system proof. He is not. And that's okay, because there's arguably one quarterback. Justin Herbert's proof of it. Josh Allen had a lot of help to get to where he is now, and Lamar Jackson is in a system that was built for him. There is one quarterback who you can drop him into any system. And even then, you could argue they had a whole year of Alex Smith with Pat Mahomes on the bench to build that system around him. And so I think that ultimately, if Kyle Shanahan had the opportunity to draft Trevor Lawrence in 2021, maybe we're talking about a different Trevor, but maybe we're not, because the Mickey Mouse offense he ran at Clemson perhaps did not prepare him to now be in a situation in year 5 where he is still learning nuances of the position.
Clemson had better athletes than the people that they play consistently. And that's the issue when it comes to looking at quarterbacks. And my great friend Denny Thompson has helped me perceive that a little bit more. And in the NFL, you're looking for traits. You're looking for traits in college as well. But do they have a big arm? Do they rely on checkdowns, or is it only trying to go downfield? So when they looked at guys like Josh Allen, who had nothing, like he sucked in college at Wyoming. Now he's doing well, but what did they see in the film? And I think with Trevor, you saw competitiveness, you saw winning. He has all the tools. He has, as I've said before, he has more talent in his pinky finger, in his pinky nail, than Mac Jones does. But one thing Mac Jones realizes that he doesn't have the talent that Trevor Lawrence had, but he does know how to get the ball to the hands of the playmakers, which is what the San Francisco 49ers offense is built around. Build up, like every quarterback. If you have good wide receivers and you have good running backs and you have this, you will have a good team, regardless of who it is that's throwing into it. And if the quarterback understands that, you'll be good. And I'll go back again to the Indianapolis Colts example. Anthony Richardson, all the talent in the world, big arm, fast, strong, physical. All he wants to do is push the ball downfield. Daniel Jones, having a better understanding of what his talent is and what it isn't, is looking to make sure that he distributes the ball to the playmakers. Once Trevor realizes that and they can unlock that part of his mind, he may become dangerous, because he could be one of the most capable game managers. He's going to take what you give him with the ability to always make the deep throw in every throw on the field. And I think that's an ego. That's a hit to the ego. But at the end of the day, if I'm getting paid $50 million to win games and I win games that way, I will get another contract, and I'm going to dink and dunk. I'm going to dink and dunk my way to prosperity.
It's what Jim Harbaugh did once upon a time with Justin Herbert. It's what we hope Liam Cohen is going to do with Trevor Lawrence. The chat on YouTube is popping off right now. They're loving Big Game James and Mo Bryan in one locale. We will do it again sometime, my friend. We have to hit a break. I asked for 15 minutes. You've given me 28. Appreciate you. We're going to have you back on here very, very soon.
All right, I come in a mass. Peace.
Always, always the one and only Big Game James Coleman. Follow him at Big Game James _36. And again, you can, of course, catch him at Den Media Sports Den on YouTube. We do have to hit that break. I'll give you guys 2 numbers I'm watching for in this matchup with the 49ers before Joe Shasky, the Butcher Boy, joins us here on Club 904 on a Thursday.
Family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models, or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway, or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnicht has a treating you right guarantee. Courtesy, respect, fairness. And most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnicht. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnicht. GMC. We are professional grade.
If you look good, you feel good. And the medical professionals here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics are here to make you feel your best. I'm on camera every week, and I have a confession to make. I'm not always confident in my appearance. Can you see my dark circles? Is my makeup highlighting my fine lines instead of covering them up? I question it all. So when I found out about the wide variety of procedures here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics, I knew help was just one appointment away. Medical Director Dr. Megan Deacon Casey and her board-certified physicians have been using the latest in cutting-edge technology for the last 10 years, giving men and women their personal confidence boost. From Botox, fillers, Morpheus 8, and so much more. The hardest part was figuring out what I needed. Thankfully, the medical team walked me through what would work best for me through a free consultation. Come look and feel your best with the team here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics. Visit them at one of their 2 locations, either over in Ponte Vedra or on the south side.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University.
Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School.
Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Tony Mazzio, Stanwood High School, class of 2002.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oak Leaf High School.
Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Shacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley,
Hilliard High School.
Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Welcome back into a Thursday edition of Club 904. I am Mia O'Brien. Our thanks again to Big Game James Coleman for hanging out with us. Joe Shasky of 95.7 The Game going to join us here in just a little bit. But before we get to the co-host of the Morning Roast, wanted to hit you guys with a couple of numbers that I found interesting through 3 weeks of the NFL season and your Jacksonville Jaguars 2025 campaign. As of this writing, the Jaguars, 10th in the biggest percentage of passing plays in which their defense runs a game or a stunt. For those of you unfamiliar with what that is, if you go back to 2022, you probably remember that NASCAR package we talked about so frequently of a defensive front with Trayvon Walker on the inside alongside Dewan Smoot or Arden Key, and then Smoot or Key on the outside opposite Josh Hines-Allen. The idea of an edge rusher going inside, at least in the initial pre-snap look. But then as the ball is snapped, you see those outside edge rushers coming inside. The inside rushers make way for the edge rusher. And so in turn, it's called a game because you see the defensive linemen moving in synchrony and harmony. The Jaguars, again, 10th most percentage of their plays run on a stunt. So they are running them, they're top 10 in terms of running that type of game. Yet they're bottom 5 in terms of a difference in the pressure percentage when they do run a stunt. And I think you saw that in the game against the Houston Texans. And part of that is that offensive line, which this is a Niners offensive line that is very beat up. We're going to run through the injury report before we get Joe Shasky in here. And so I'm fascinated to see how much we see Anthony Campanile try to either bring created pressure, simulated pressure via a nickel blitz or bringing Devin Lloyd off the edge, but additionally in getting creative with that defensive front. Because if you believe you can win your one-on-one matchups, I'm not suggesting that bull rushing your way to the quarterback is the best way to go, especially if Brock Purdy does play, because he has that escapability. And as Liam Cohen said, his eyes are always downfield. He's not going to be frazzled by that, and he's going to be able to read it. But I'm interested to see, knowing that this offensive line, much like the Houston Texans, maybe isn't operating at peak performance like perhaps it has for Niners teams of years past. One other number that I thought was very interesting with regards to that defensive front for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Josh Hines-Allen has been double teamed just 23% of the time through 3 games of the 2025 season. Trayvon Walker has been double teamed 44%. LOL, given he's number 44. 44% of his pass rushing sets. What does that say to me? It says that Mike Tomlin was right. Back in 2023, prior to the Jaguars and Steelers game, I believe that was week 7 of that calendar year, Mike Tomlin said that Trayvon Walker is the problem, and that is who we are game planning for. That is no disrespect to Josh Hines-Allen. It's just the reality, as Mike Tomlin said then, and I believe it's true now, that Trayvon Walker does things that even a top 5, top 10 pass rusher like 41 can't do. He is as stout in the run as anybody else. He creates forced fumbles. He is able to go sideline to sideline that someone his size at that speed should not be able to do. And so that says to me that he is the number 1 item on team scouting reports when they face the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is fascinating to see. And of course, look, 41 is number 2 in pressures in the National Football League right now. But it is interesting to me that he is not seeing the double teams at the rate that Trayvon Walker is. I'm fascinated to see how that changes moving forward when it comes to how offenses will attack Anthony Campanile's defense. All right, we got a big one coming up. Again, Joe Shasky going to join us. He's making his way home from the studio. I promised I'd get off that injury report to you guys in case you missed it, so let's read it through. Again, this is the Wednesday injury report. We are live at 1:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right now here in Duval County, and so we'll get another injury report for your Jaguars and the Niners around 6:30 Eastern Time is the expectation. For the Jaguars, largely as expected on Wednesday, De'Ami Brown did not practice. As I've said time and time again, if it was a broken collarbone, if it was a break in his shoulder, we would know by now. We don't. So that says to me that this is not the 4 or 5 month injury, season ending, even a month-long injury that many believe it could be, but I could be wrong. Otherwise, limited on Wednesday, Ezra Cleveland, Patrick McCarry with an elbow is interesting, and then Wyatt Milam and Bashal Tutin, who have been limited the last 2 weeks. For the Niners, both Mac Jones and Brock Purdy were limited. In talking with the boys at 95.7, and we're going to get Joe on here in just a second, sounded like it's not a sure thing that Brock Purdy will play. What I'm interested to hear from Joe, why was Ricky Pearsall a DNP with a knee injury? Why was CJ West, another one of their top 3 draft picks from April's NFL draft, a DNP with a thumb injury? Of course, Jawan Jennings fighting an ankle and a shoulder injury. He was a DNP. Renardo Green, one of their starting corners, limited. Connor Colby, shout out Go Hawks of Iowa and Cedar Rapids Kennedy forever. He is going to step in for Ben Barch, former Jacksonville Jaguar, in that starting offensive lineup. He was limited. A lot we got to dive into. So let's take another break before we bring on the Butcher Boy, Joe Shasky, on a Thursday edition of Club 904.
To get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness, and most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC, we are professional grade.
If you look good, you feel good, and the medical professionals here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics are here to make you feel your best. I'm on camera every week, and I have a confession to make. I'm not always confident in my appearance. Can you see my dark circles? Is my makeup highlighting my fine lines instead of covering them up? I question it all. So when I found out about the wide variety of procedures here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics, I knew help was just one appointment away. Medical Director Dr. Megan Deacon Casey and her board-certified physicians have been using the latest in cutting-edge technology for the last 10 years, giving men and women their personal confidence boost. From Botox, fillers, Morpheus 8, and so much more. The hardest part was figuring out what I needed. Thankfully, the medical team walked me through what would work best for me through a free consultation. Come look and feel your best with the team here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics. Visit them at one of their 2 locations, either over in Ponte Vedra or on the south side.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University.
Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School.
Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Tony Mazzio, Stanwood High School, class of 2002.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oakleaf High School.
Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Shacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School.
Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
It's been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Welcome back into a Thursday edition of Club 904. Mia O'Brien, Joe Shasky of 95.7 The Game going to join us momentarily. In case you missed any part of the show, a reminder, you can always catch it live on demand by checking out the Action Sports Jacks podcast network, or of course, if you head on over to the Action Sports Jacks YouTube channel, and you can check out all of our episodes and listen to them on demand. Fleet and Footy is coming up next on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 channel at 2 p.m. Eastern. I hope Stuart Weber's okay with this. We're going to take it to 2 p.m. because this next guy, let me get him all fired up. I think we're going until 2 p.m. on the dot because Joe Shasky, the Butcher Boy, has a lot to say. Usually he's asking me the questions when I join 95.7 The Game. The roles are reversed, and I'm very excited, Joe, to have you here in the club with us.
Yeah, I'm fired up. I mean, my Niners, man, they're like the Walking Dead right now. So I don't even know who's going to play quarterback, quite frankly. I don't know if it's going to be Mac Jones. I don't know if it's going to be Brock Purdy. I don't even think they know.
Well, that's what we were going to lead with. I actually teased that because in speaking with you and the other Joe this morning, it sounded like you were almost leaning towards Brock Purdy is not a guarantee to start on Sunday. So let's start with that injury report. What can we expect in terms of availability across the board for the 49ers? Because that is it's a Publix receipt right now of an injury report. It feels like every single guy on the 53 man is fighting some sort of boo-boo.
Yeah, they're out. The Hall of Fame tight end, George Kittle. They're out Nick Bosa for the season. Obviously has Hall of Fame type talent. So those are two huge losses for this weekend. Juwan Jennings, was a guy that had a monster year last year, 1,000-yard receiver. But basically, he's barely played this year. Missed all the training camp trying to get an extension. He is not practicing right now. And usually with the Niners, you don't practice, you don't play. That's typically how it goes. So we'll see today if he goes out there. CMC had his normal rest day. He should be playing. Purdy, I don't know. He didn't scramble last week. He didn't roll out. He just stood there and threw the ball. He needs to be able to move to protect himself, number one, and just the way he plays, he likes to make plays outside of structure. And so if he cannot protect himself in that pocket and move around, I don't see them playing him this weekend. But Mac Jones has a PCL injury on the knee as well. He hurt it, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. And he hasn't really missed any significant time except game 3 of the preseason. He was very, very limited. And then in this last game, he re-aggravated that injury and had to put a brace on. And to get to the goal line, he can't even reach out to give the handoff to Christian McCaffrey. He's like falling over, and he kept trying to extend the legs. And like, I think Max played admirably in the absence of Brock Purdy. Who's going to play on Sunday? I think that they're going to say game time decision for Brock Purdy. I think they wait one more week. They have a Thursday game against the Rams, which the conference division game means a heck of a lot more than the Jags game. And then you get 10 days off before the Bucks. If I had to guess, Purdy misses this game. You get Mac Jones, and then Purdy plays on Thursday against the Rams.
One other absence from Wednesday's practice that has piqued my attention, and especially hearing from you, Joe, boots on the ground in San Francisco, that if you don't practice, you don't play in Kyle Shanahan's system. Ricky Pearsall did not practice Wednesday. Should Niners fans, should Jaguar fans be keeping their eye on that one?
Yeah, Pearsall to me sounds like he dinged his knee for whatever reason, either banging knees. He's not really even sure. He said he didn't know, but it was sore. It wasn't hurt. They sat him out. I think this is a workload thing, kind of like how Christian McCaffrey gets a veteran day. Kyle is very good to the veterans. Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Christian McCaffrey. These guys will often take a Wednesday off when they know they have like a twofer, as I call it, where you got bang, bang, Sunday, Thursday games. So that's one thing. I think he's treating Ricky like one of those veterans because of his importance to the team right now. So I wouldn't put a lot of stock into that. I think Ricky plays. Ricky's been a stud for them right now. We just faced what's the kid's name? Marvin Harrison Jr. And Marvin Harrison Jr. wide open multiple times, horrible drops, couldn't get separation, just not running routes hard. I go to all the games. I sit up in the end zone with my season tickets, and he just doesn't run routes hard if the ball's not coming to him. That is not going to fly here in San Francisco. And so Ricky Pearsall, exact opposite. Run blocker, stud, gets open, great hands, catch radius for a small guy, really tough. I mean, he's a really good player. I thought he was going to be weak because he was hurt at Florida. He was hurt here early. Got shot at Union Square, getting robbed.
Yeah, I don't know if
Rolex.
I'd say he was hurt. I mean, the man was shot. Like, is he shot, hurt, or injured? Like, come on now.
But he had hurt the labrum.
That's true.
While he was injured while he got shot, like prior, if that makes sense. But no,
yes.
the injury, the gunshot wound, that's just. That's just the lawlessness of downtown San Francisco, which we've been trying to clean up. So, no, but Ricky's an absolute stud. He's a stud, and they desperately need him with no Brandon Ayuk, who hurt himself last year, who's another really good player, and I know the Jaguars wanted him. So, like, they are the Walking Dead right now. Like, I don't know who's going to be ready to go and what availability. We'll see.
This, of course, is Joe Shasky, for those of you who haven't met him before, a.k.a. the Butcher Boy. He hosts the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game in San Francisco. Thanks for hanging out with us in Club 904. If you have a question for Joe regarding the Niners and the Jaguars this Sunday, leave a comment, tweet at us, and, of course, you can also tweet at him at ButcherBoy415. I want to hit one more on the injury report, selfishly, because he went to Iowa. I covered him when he was in high school at Cedar Rapids Kennedy. But Connor Colby is expected, check me if I'm wrong, with Ben Barch on IR. He is expected to be one of those starting guards opposite Dom Puny, who also has been reportedly kind of banged up, or at the very least, like, sore. How would you evaluate the health of this offensive line going into this matchup?
Not great. Trent Williams has showed his age the last couple of years. I'm out on Trent as just a dude. I think he's a front runner, a mercenary. He's a great player. I don't deny any of that. He did this thing multiple years in a row about holding out for more money, and then just came in horrible shape. Needed multiple IVs to get through the first 6 weeks of the season. I'm talking multiple times, multiple games. And I just thought it set a bad precedent. And I watched him at the joint practice against the Denver Broncos this year, and he's yucking it up with the Broncos and not participating. And to me, it reeked of front runner. And I get it. You want to talk about retirement, then go retire, because you're getting paid handsomely to be a player on this team to protect the franchise quarterback. He's still a really good player. He's just not the Hall of Fame elite player he was a couple years ago. Connor Colby goes in there for Ben Barch, who's been injured 50 times in like 4 games.
He was
literally
he's
only played a handful of games.
He was. Yeah. I love Ben. He's a friend, but he was hurt here a lot too.
Yeah, and we barely got a whiff of him. Connor Colby goes in there, looks really good. They get to like Thursday of practice last week. He hurts his groin and then suits up in the game on Sunday and plays admirably. It's a division game. Division games against the Cardinals. I know the Cardinals aren't a sexy team, but they know your tendencies and their scheme and everything. I thought he held up pretty well. Dominic Puni got hurt on a special teams play in preseason. He is going to be fine. He's been not 100%. Who is 100% this early in the season? Their offensive line is a work in progress. That being said, I actually think they blocked for Mac Jones really well. Purdy would escape that first rusher, and I thought it actually made it a little difficult to be one of those tackles or even those interior guys, because you don't know where he's going. Is he spinning left? Is he going to drop back farther? He didn't climb a whole lot. He can't see over the center at 6 feet tall. Like, he's shorter. Mac Jones can. So I thought Mac actually was a better pocket quarterback in terms of climbing for this offensive line. That sounds counterproductive because he's not as nimble, but I think actually Mac's pocket presence, I've been really surprised. Mac totally surprised me. I know.
I tried to tell you boys on the Morning Roast.
He's tough. He's accurate. He slings it. He will throw an no throw, like, no doubt about it. He'll just fire one into a window, and the guy hasn't even broke yet, and the defender's reading it all the way. But I've been really impressed with Mac Jones. And look, this is how I view it. I like Brock Purdy. Do I think Brock Purdy's worth $53 million? No. I think there's a lot of quarterbacks making a lot of money that I don't think he deserved a pay raise. But to me, if a Mac Jones is available for $8 million over 2 years, I do the math like this. Is my team better giving $53 million to Brock Purdy, or spreading the $40 million difference between whatever I'm paying Brock Purdy to Mac Jones, and then keeping the Debos and the Greenlaws and the Hufangos? These are guys who they had to say goodbye to. Or Armstead, who's on your team now. They had to say goodbye to him 2 years ago because of the looming bill on the quarterback. Like, I don't know what the answer is. I like team building and having depth everywhere. So I'm always reluctant on paying these quarterbacks this godly amount of money. But you got to hit on a Mac Jones. You got to hit on a Sam Darnold for a year. And that's hard too.
Let's hit a couple of questions before we make way for the boys of Fleet and Footy here on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 channel. I said Stuart Weber just walked into the studio, and I said we'd go till 2-ish, or at least 1:58, Joe, because I know you have a whole heck of a lot to say. And like we've alluded
whatever
to,
you need.
That injury report for San Francisco, it deserves a plenty of time, plenty of airtime.
You know who I didn't bring up? You
Who
know
did
what
you
I
not
bring
bring
up?
up?
And I don't mean to interrupt you.
No,
Christian
go for it.
McCaffrey, guy played 4 games last year. Like, Christian McCaffrey's the best player on the team, period.
Yeah.
Like, end of discussion. I've watched every Niner game my entire life. I've been seeing Jerry Rice in his prime. I see Frank Gore, Ricky Waters in his prime, Vernon Davis, George Kittle. I've seen them all. The 2023 season for Christian McCaffrey was as great of an offensive season as I've ever seen. Ever. 2,000 all-purpose yards, scored like 30 touchdowns total, rushing and passing. He was unguardable. That player has not existed for a long time. This year, it's been better than what it was last year, but it's not what 2023 was, the year they went to the Super Bowl. I don't know if that guy's going to come back, but I've seen a lot of great players. Terry Kirby, Kevin Falk up in New England. As pass-catching threats, you don't have to be as explosive to still be effective. That's kind of what we're watching right now with the Niner offense. A lot of checkdowns, a lot of split him out, put him in the slot, move him around, utilize him like a Wes Welker type slot receiver. He's been dynamic. And then he gets these matchups against safeties and linebackers, and it's just a tough matchup for him to guard. He's more physical than you think. He's got good hands. He can still separate because he can run full speed and make a break and not lose a stride. He has been dynamic. But running between the tackles, it's just been really congested, and that's the heartbeat of a Shanahan offense. It's why they've been not scoring 25, 30 points every week.
Interesting. I'm glad you interrupted me because I was going to ask about Christian McCaffrey and his usage. And if you are Jaguars defense coordinator Anthony Campanile, Joe, how are you matching up with him?
Oh, I would have a safety on him at all times, and I would bracket him over the top in that intermediate area. Basically, he's not going to try to run a 9 route, but intermediately. And then I have underneath, I've had your fastest coverage linebacker on him, and they love the quick outs. They love the quick outs, and I would force him to the middle where those linebackers are. The big mistakes in the Shanahan offense come over the middle, where that linebacker is sitting there and they throw through a window, not seeing the underneath guy. Purdy did it. Jimmy did it. Max done it. All the guys running this system do it. So they love the out option routes. So that's the thing. I would stop Christian McCaffrey if I was the Jaguars. It's easier said than done, though.
I have 2 minutes left, or a little bit less than that. So let's tie a couple questions together.
Yeah.
Ryan says DeMarcus Robinson is back. Have to keep an eye on him. Brian says Pearsall is kind of the only viable target they have right now, reminiscent of the Panthers only having T-Mac. I think the Jags are going to lock that avenue down pretty quick and force Mac Jones to move on. What say you, Joe?
Well, Ricky's good, dude. Like, I was very skeptical on, look, white boy wide receiver coming in very arrogant. It's like, I don't know, kind of undersized. Like, let's see it. He's hella tough, and he's really good. And in this offense, if you understand how to get separation on a route and maintain your speed and have good hands and get down, like that's one thing he's really good at. As the ball comes, he drifts back toward the ball. When you're at the games, when you're at practice, you see this. He doesn't allow defenders to close the gap. He actually tracks back to the ball. He's just really good with his body, and I think he's much more tough than I gave him credit for. He's a stud. I'm very impressed with Ricky.
Hey, listen, the Florida Gators need something to celebrate. So DeMarcus Robinson too, right? I mean,
He's good
maybe.
too.
Yeah.
He was kind of the unsung hero of camp, DeMarcus Robinson on the offensive side of the ball, because no one knew where they were going to get this second wide receiver production from. I don't know where he fits into this equation. We were starting Kendrick Bourne and what's the other guy from the Kansas City that they got, the returner who stinks.
Sky Moore.
Sky Moore, number 9. I mean, he caught a punt inside the 5-yard line. And my son's 2 years old. My son was like, Dad, what's he doing? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I can hear my dad in heaven like, you don't catch a ball inside the 5-yard line. And that's how they got a safety last week, the other team, the Arizona Cardinals.
I told you folks we'd take it right up to 2 o'clock because the Butcher Boy deserves it. Joe Shasky, co-host on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. Appreciate you hopping on, brother man.
You do a great job, and it should be a great game. The Niners, for the first time ever, are wearing white tops with gold bottoms at home because they're worried about the heat down in Santa Clara. It's ridiculous. So it's a historic matchup between the Jags and the Niners.
It's 90-something degrees here, so I'm fascinated to see how hot it is.
I'm from Frisco, 5th generation San Francisco native. Okay, anything above 70 degrees is really hot and humid for me. And so they play their games an hour south in San Jose. You might as well be playing on the surface of the sun for most San Franciscans. So yeah, anything over 75 degrees is like roasting for us. I know. We're soft.
We got to get out of here. I appreciate you, Joe.
See ya.
Go listen to his show, The Morning Roast. Appreciate the Butcher Boy hopping on a Thursday edition of Club 904. If you missed any of today's episode, of course, it is available on demand wherever you get your podcasts and on the Action Sports Jacks YouTube channel. We are out. Foot and Fleety. I promise Stuart Weber, I'm going to get it right at some point, is coming up next here on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 channel. Club 904 is going to be back open on Sunday. Be sure to join us for post game. Until then, we'll catch you later.